Welcome to Artificial Fluency, the podcast where we explore fascinating topics in English with the help of our AI friend, Emma. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Emma, the artificial intelligence assistant. It's great to be here, John.
Today, we're diving into a topic that's both profound and practical: how to find purpose in life. Emma, why do you think this is such an important subject for our listeners?
Well, John, finding purpose in life is crucial because it gives us direction, motivation, and a sense of fulfillment. It's like having a personal North Star that guides our decisions and actions. Plus, research shows that having a sense of purpose is linked to better health, longevity, and even economic success.
That's very impressive, Emma. Throughout this podcast, we're going to explore various aspects of finding purpose, what purpose really means, signs that you might be lacking purpose, practical steps to discover your purpose, the benefits of living a purposeful life, and how to maintain and evolve your purpose over time. So, whether you're feeling a bit lost in life or just want to refine your sense of purpose, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Emma, let's start with the basics. What exactly do we mean when we talk about purpose in life?
Great question, John. Purpose can be defined as an overarching intention that is personally meaningful to you and of consequence to the world beyond yourself. It's essentially your why, the reason you get out of bed each morning.
That's a clear definition. Can you give us some examples of what purpose might look like for different people?
Certainly. Purpose can take many forms. For some, it might be raising a family and setting the best example for their children. For others, it could be supporting a social cause like climate change or racial equality. Some might find purpose in creating art that moves people, while others might dedicate themselves to scientific research to improve human health.
Those are great examples. It seems like purpose can be quite diverse.
Absolutely, John. It's important to note that your purpose doesn't have to be grandiose, like solving world hunger. It can be something that seems small but is deeply meaningful to you and contributes positively to others in some way.
That's reassuring. I think sometimes people can feel overwhelmed by the idea of finding their life's purpose.
You're right, and that's a common misconception. Purpose isn't always a single, unchanging thing. It can evolve over time as we grow and our life circumstances change. The key is that it provides a sense of meaning and direction in our lives.
Emma, how can our listeners tell if they might be lacking purpose in their lives?
There are several signs that might indicate someone is struggling to find their purpose, John. Some common indicators include feeling a general sense of emptiness or that something is missing in life, lack of motivation or enthusiasm for daily activities, difficulty setting and pursuing long-term goals, feeling stuck or directionless in your career or personal life, experiencing frequent boredom or restlessness, struggling to find meaning in your accomplishments, feeling disconnected from others or the world around you.
Those are really helpful points, Emma. I can imagine many of our listeners might recognize some of these feelings. Is there anything else they should be aware of?
Yes, there's also a phenomenon called purpose anxiety, which is a nervousness about being able to find your purpose. It's important to remember that finding your purpose is a journey, not a destination. It's okay if you don't have it all figured out right away.
That's reassuring. So, if someone recognizes these signs in themselves, what should they do?
The first step is simply acknowledging that you're feeling this way and that you want to make a change. From there, you can start taking active steps to explore and discover your purpose, which we'll discuss in more detail shortly.
Excellent. Before we move on to those steps, is there anything else our listeners should know about recognizing a lack of purpose?
Yes, it's crucial to understand that experiencing these feelings doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Many people go through periods of feeling purposeless, especially during major life transitions or after achieving long-held goals. It's a normal part of the human experience and can actually be an opportunity for growth and self-discovery.
Now let's get into the practical part. Emma, what steps can our listeners take to start discovering their purpose?
There are several strategies people can use to uncover their purpose, John. Let's go through them one by one. Identify your core values. Your values are the beliefs that guide how you live and what you prioritize. They're a crucial foundation for finding your purpose.
How can someone identify their core values?
Great question. One way is to reflect on meaningful moments in your life and ask yourself why they were significant. You can also think about what makes you angry or frustrated. Often, these feelings point to values that are important to you. There are also online value assessments that can be helpful. Explore your passions and interests. What activities make you lose track of time? What topics do you love learning about?
That makes sense. Our passions can often point us toward our purpose.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try new things. Sometimes we discover passions we never knew we had. Reflect on your strengths. What are you naturally good at? What skills have you developed over time? Consider how you can serve others. Purpose often involves contributing to something larger than yourself.
These are all great points, Emma. What else should our listeners consider?
Here are a few more steps. Set meaningful goals. Create both short-term and long-term goals that align with your values and interests. Seek diverse experiences. Expose yourself to different people, cultures, and ideas. This can broaden your perspective and help you discover new possibilities. Practice mindfulness and self-reflection. Regular meditation or journaling can help you become more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and desires. Ask for feedback. Sometimes others can see strengths or patterns in us that we can't see ourselves.
Those are all excellent suggestions, Emma. Is there anything else you'd recommend?
Yes, two more important points. Be patient and persistent. Finding your purpose is a process that takes time. Don't get discouraged if you don't figure it out immediately. Start small. You don't need to make drastic life changes right away. Begin with small steps in the direction that feels right to you.
Thank you, Emma. Those are all incredibly helpful strategies. Is there any particular exercise you'd recommend for our listeners to try right now?
Absolutely, John. Here's a quick exercise our listeners can do. Take a few moments to imagine your ideal life 5 years from now. What are you doing? Who are you with? How do you feel? What impact are you making? This visualization can often provide clues about what truly matters to you and what kind of purpose you might want to pursue.
Now that we've discussed how to find purpose, let's talk about why it's so important. Emma, what are some of the benefits of living a purposeful life?
Living with purpose comes with a wide range of benefits, John. Research has shown that people with a strong sense of purpose often experience better physical health and longevity, improved mental health and resilience, greater life satisfaction and happiness, more meaningful relationships, increased motivation and productivity, better decision-making skills, higher income and career success, a stronger sense of identity and self-worth.
Wow, that's quite a list. Can you elaborate on some of these benefits?
Of course. For instance, studies have found that people with a strong sense of purpose tend to have lower rates of heart disease and are more likely to engage in preventive health behaviors. They also tend to be more resilient in the face of stress and adversity.
That's fascinating. How does purpose contribute to better relationships?
When you have a clear sense of purpose, you're often more authentic in your interactions with others. You're also more likely to connect with people who share your values and goals, leading to deeper and more meaningful relationships.
And what about the career benefits?
People with a strong sense of purpose often find it easier to set and pursue career goals. They tend to be more engaged in their work, which can lead to better performance and potentially higher income. Plus, when your career aligns with your purpose, you're more likely to find satisfaction in your work.
These benefits are really compelling. It seems like finding your purpose can have a profound impact on almost every aspect of your life.
Absolutely, John. And it's worth noting that these benefits often create a positive feedback loop. As you live more purposefully, you tend to feel better and perform better, which in turn reinforces your sense of purpose.
Emma, once someone has identified their purpose, how can they maintain it over time? And should they expect their purpose to change?
Great questions, John. Maintaining your sense of purpose is an ongoing process. Here are some strategies. Regularly revisit and reflect on your purpose. Set and pursue goals aligned with your purpose. Surround yourself with supportive people who understand and respect your purpose. Continue learning and growing in areas related to your purpose. Practice gratitude for the opportunities you have to live out your purpose. As for whether purpose can change, absolutely. It's natural and often healthy for your purpose to evolve as you grow and your life circumstances change.
That's good to know. So, how can people navigate these changes in their purpose?
The key is to stay open and flexible. Regularly check in with yourself about whether your current path still feels meaningful and fulfilling. If you start to feel a sense of disconnect or restlessness, it might be time to reassess. Remember, changing your purpose doesn't mean you failed or that your previous purpose wasn't valid. It's a sign of growth and self-awareness.
That's a great perspective. Any final thoughts on maintaining and evolving one's purpose?
Yes, I'd encourage listeners to think of purpose as a journey rather than a destination. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small wins along the way, and don't be afraid to adjust your course as you learn and grow.
Well, Emma, we've covered a lot of ground today in our exploration of how to find purpose in life. Any final thoughts or advice for our listeners?
Absolutely, John. I'd like to remind everyone that finding your purpose is a deeply personal journey. What gives your life meaning might be very different from someone else's purpose, and that's okay. The most important thing is to stay curious, keep exploring, and be true to yourself. Also, remember that living purposefully doesn't mean every moment of your life needs to be infused with deep meaning. It's about having an overall sense of direction and fulfillment.
That's wonderful advice, Emma. Thank you for sharing your insights with us today. To our listeners, we hope this episode has given you some valuable tools and perspectives for finding and living your purpose. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination, so be patient with yourself and enjoy the process of discovery. If you found this episode helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to Artificial Fluency and share it with your friends. Until next time, this is John.
And Emma, wishing you a purposeful and fulfilling week ahead. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.